All right. Hello. What's up, everybody? We're back for another episode. It's the Brisco and Big Ace show. I'm Big Ace. Wes, what's up, man?
I don't know, just another bootleg podcast, how we normally do it. No bragging on social media, none of that. We just kind of go live. We kind of just do our thing.
That's right. Trish was on there early saying hello to us. So thanks for that. Yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome. As always, if you're joining us, thank you. Please share. Tell your friends that we're on and we're live right now. Get everybody in here. We got some fun stuff we want to talk about. Obviously, Wes had a show, so we'll talk about that. We'll also kind of talk about your experience, which we've already kind of touched on, but I've now been to a wrestling show in the pandemic era as well. So we can talk a little bit about that and some other fun stuff. But yeah, man, it's how's it going? Like, how are you in the pandemic days that are going on? Oh, hang on. I think they're saying something's wrong with your mic. I don't know why. It says I can't. There you go.
Oh,
there he is.
So you give Ace all the power, and he mutes his best friend and partner in crime, Mr. Wes Brisco.
I'll do it again.
Mute me all the time.
Yeah, man. So how's it going, man? I mean, we're what like this is like it feels like it's been like 8 months, but I feel like it's been like what 4, 5, 6 months. This whole pandemic and new.
We're at 5 months. Do you know that?
5. Oh, man. It feels like summer has been non-existent because of this. You know what I mean? Again,
everything has been non-existent. Like there is no more nightlife. I feel bad for all the single people out there.
Yeah, man, it's all online now. Like you have to meet someone online.
And like, is it like, are you tested? Do you have to be like, okay, can I see your test results? Because if I don't know, like, even if it's online, you still got to see the people's test results, because what happens if the person that you're talking to has COVID?
I'll tell you what, which, by the way, thank you again, everybody who's hopping on right now and joining us for another live Brisco and Big Ace show. Real quick, subscribe to us on YouTube. A lot of cool things on there. So make sure you hit us up on YouTube. Chris, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us as always. Chris is definitely a part of the Brisco and Big Ace Army. So thanks for hanging out, man. And again, share it with everybody. Like us on all our social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. Make sure you get on there. And again, share. Let people know we're live. Throw some comments on here. Say hello. If you have questions, let us know. If you want to add anything we're going to talk about, add it on there too as well. So, yeah, man, it's funny that you say that, because again, it is online. It really is. Like, you got to meet people online. I'm a single guy. So like, that's what I have to resort to. And it's funny because actually I just got a message from some girl I've been talking to online who said, like, hey, do you want to get together this weekend or next week sometime and actually meet? And I was like, I don't know. Should we? Like, is it? I don't know, because it is weird. You don't know someone that well. You're getting to know them. That's the whole thing of dating and getting to know someone and starting.
Well, I mean, see, that's the good thing about your first date. Your first date, you usually sit apart. And unless you really want to, like, at the end, hug them, you're kind of good, I think. You know what I'm saying? So I think in that aspect, yeah, But if you're, like, in that middle stage where you're like, oh, man, I think things are about to hit it off, like, do you want to be like, hey, man, by the way, are you clean, and are you really clean?
Right. Yeah. No. Right.
Like, well, how many boxes do I got to check off? I mean, right. Boxes, I mean, I just couldn't believe it.
Right. Timmy, thanks for joining us. Yeah, like we were saying, we were just talking about dating life right now. Wes is Wes is taken. Wes is in a relationship.
I'm not dating. I am sold up.
Yes. Yeah, you are in a full committed relationship with our lovely past guest, Red Velvet. What you got? We haven't talked about that either. I actually, after that episode, that next night, you guys had your show at Atomic, which we'll get into in just a minute here. And then after that, she had her show up here in the Twin Cities in Minnesota, and I went to it. So I've now actually met Red Velvet, your lovely lady. So that was fun too. Yeah, look, she hooked me up too, man.
Oh, serving it up.
Yeah, so that's going in a frame on the wall of all my 8x10 someday when I have my fancy office studio
Oh,
in
I
this
see.
old apartment. But yeah, man. So it's weird though, because like I said, it got sprung on me like, hey, do you want to meet? And it's like, I don't know, like, how safe have you been? You've been going
Yeah.
out and about? Because if you are, I don't know if I want to meet. Like, I've been not going out at all. So like,
I know, and is that a discussion you bring up before you?
I haven't answered back yet. Like, I literally just saw this message like right before we went live.
Okay, well then you're good because you can give it some time. You don't want to
So it's
beaver and like be like, oh, to all the guys out there, if a girl texts you, don't respond right away. Let it simmer a little bit. Let it sink in. Let it seem like you're not just sitting there looking at your phone waiting for it to ring.
right. But that's what's weird though, because I like on there I was talking. We've been talking for a while, and it's nothing crazy. Not like all like literally like once a day I'll check the app and there's a message. I'll send another one the next day. There's one back. It hasn't been like super constant contact, but yeah, I guess I didn't expect to be like, oh, we're gonna meet soon. I kind of thought like maybe we'd have like a phone call or like a video call at first to like have an actual conversation.
So weird that it's getting to the point of dating that's how it is.
Right. But that's
podcast is going to go down. Like someone's going to listen to this podcast like years from now and go, really? Like that's the norm. And like to see it switch, to be able to be alive and say that I've seen social acting as completely almost gone away. There is no more going to bars. There is no more, hey man, let's go downtown for a little bit and go check out the bar scene and go see some live music and hop around and like because like where I live, my downtown area is very, very like beautiful, and all the bars are all close together. And you got all different scenes, and I know everybody, and I can just like walk into different bars, and there's like music, there's any type of scene that you like. And now that whole scene, everything is just done. It's gone.
Really is. It really is.
And it's such a shame because we had a beautiful nightlife, and it just, oh man, it's crazy just to see it all go away. And like you said, you meeting for a date. I mean, I guess, you go out to dinner, the table's far enough apart, and you guys both wear masks, and I guess, it's so weird to me. I feel sorry for everyone that, like, Ace, man, I feel sorry for you, brother.
It's just weird because it's not even like the person I'm talking to. It's more of just the places to go and like, are they being safe? Are the people who are also going there being?
Well, here's what you do. You go to like an Outback. You go to like a nice franchise, a big franchise that that can't afford to not lose their ass. You know? You go to like a Carrabba's or you go to somewhere. You don't go to Al's Buffet down the street,
The perfect first date, Al's Buffet. Whatever you want.
Wherever you are.
That's hilarious. So yeah, it is crazy time, man, but you're doing good. I'm doing good. We're getting through. So yeah, hopefully
I'm not doing so good.
What's that?
Actually, I'm not doing so good.
Well, okay, yeah. So let's get into that. Personal life, you're doing good, but like we mentioned the last episode we had right that next night, you had a big show, Atomic Wrestling, which another sold out show for Atomic down there in Cocoa Beach, which is awesome. And big match. You were the main event. Your title was up for grabs against your buddy Shannon Moore, or former buddy, and then another friend or former friend refereeing, Garrett Bischoff. So I think either was it tonight? Is that coming out on YouTube?
Well, it doesn't matter because whoever was there live already saw it.
Yeah, it's already out and about, but I think the match will be on YouTube either tonight or
no, it comes out, I believe,
Tuesday. Yeah, okay, you're right. But yeah, let's get into it. So it didn't go as planned. Did not go as planned. I'll let you elaborate.
Well, the day started out great. Of course, I'm with my girl, Red Velvet. She has a wonderful match. She goes over, she wins her match. Everything's good. And, of course, Garrett shows up and, it's all buddy. We're, we had a little talk before the match. It's like, hey, man, are you going to call it even? Are you going to call it actually fair? Are you going to call it 50-50 down the middle? Or are you going to, have some leverage towards me or towards maybe someone else like Shannon Moore? And Garrett looked me dead in the eyes and said, no, I'll call the match 50-50. And I said, that's all I want because I can beat him no matter what. I don't need to cheat. I don't need Garrett's help. I don't need no one's help. And the funniest thing is Red Velvet, my girlfriend, she wanted to be at ringside because she was like, I don't trust Garrett. And I was like, babe, I got this. Trust me, you can trust Garrett. He's a good person. And we start rocking and rolling. We start having a good match. And Garrett's being fair. Like the first 5 minutes, I'm not going to lie, or the first minute, I got really mad at Shannon. So I scooped, double-legged him, mount him, and I started going to town with him for a redemption of what he did to me. And I'm going to town. I'm punching him in the face. I'm getting him. Garrett pulls me off, which as a referee, that's the right thing you do. I shouldn't be mounting him, punching him in his face.
Right.
So then, Garrett pulls me off. I said, okay. Turns around. Shannon Moore gets on me. Boom, boom, boom. Gets on the corner. He's doing the same thing, but I'm trapped in the corner. But luckily, as a good ref, Garrett pulls him away. So, okay, now I'm thinking, okay, it's fair. So we start having the match, and, he's fair the whole entire match. There's not one time that he is giving me any doubt that he's on my side or Shannon Moore's side. It was Garrett was actually being a referee.
Mm-hmm.
And right at the end, I hit Shannon with my finish. Everyone knows my finish, the Brisco bomb. It's like a Death Valley driver, but I turn it and I do a neck breaker. Everyone's seen me do it. Everyone knows that's my finish, and everyone knows that no one kicks out of my finish. Nobody kicks out of my finish. I grab his leg. I hook him. I hear 1, 2. And all I hear is the crowd start booing. And mentally, everything kind of slows down. So I'm thinking like, wait a second, what's going on? I hear the crowd booing and ref counting 3. What just happened? There is no Shannon to kick. He's out. He's out cold. He's done. And then I turn around and I look at Garrett and he says his shoulder hurts. And when he said his shoulder hurts, I lost it. I didn't lay a finger on him. I didn't touch him, but I got in his face. And I got in his face and I yelled at him. And, that's what any rational person would do. So then after I get done yelling at him, I'm like, okay, mentally I got to think, Shannon Moore's right over there. He's going to come out and hit me from behind and try to scoop me up and get the 1, 2, 3, right?
Right.
So mentally, I got my eye on Shannon the whole time I'm yelling at Garrett because I know better. I've been in this scenario. I've seen this scenario play out 100 times. So I turn around and I go up. So I'm like, okay, whatever, Garrett. As soon as I turn around, Garrett hooks me up. Reverse DDT. Lights out. Next thing I know, Shannon's holding the belt. I'm blacked out in the middle of the ring. and everyone's booing. And I just lost the Florida heavyweight championship.
Yeah, again, did not go as planned. That's some bullshit, by the way. Mr. Bischoff, he's got some payback coming to him. Yeah, and from unfortunately, I'm not in Florida, so I couldn't be there. Christopher, thank you for hanging out. The fans took it hard, rightfully so, as the champ got screwed over.
I've never seen so many kids cry. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of shed a tear because I've held that title for so long, and I represented that company, and I held that title with great honor and great to respect, and to see the emotion in these little kids that's supported me and seen all the tough times that I've had, and to see me overcome everything, and to see it all get taken away, not because of something that I did, because something that some selfish person like Garrett Bischoff did. That's kind of hurtful, Like I don't want to break anybody's heart. I don't want to let nobody down, and especially when it's out of my control. So that's probably the biggest heartbreaker.
Yeah,
I have a match with Shannon Moore next month, and I'm making sure that Garrett Bischoff is not the referee. I'll tell you that right now.
No kidding. Keep him out of the building that night. That's what needs to be happen. Shout out to Zach. What's up, brother? Thanks for joining us. One of our Shotgun Wrestling Waterloo Hall of Fame brethren right there. So that's gonna be a big match. You're gonna get that title back, though. I know it, against Shannon Moore. And again, Garrett Bischoff, you've got payback coming your way, brother. You ain't gonna be happy with what
I don't think he's wrestling. He's retired.
Well, then he took the easy way out. Doesn't matter. We'll still get him. Watch your back, Garrett. Better hope I don't come to Florida soon. You don't want all this fat sitting on you.
You know what? We don't hold, revenge in our hearts. We let that stuff go. Actions. Hey, we're not going to stoop down to his level and become something like him, because we strive to be someone better, and that's the whole reason why we do what we do. We're not going to follow anybody else's path and allow someone else to influence us into negative behavior or negative thoughts. So all we're going to do is think positive and move forward and work harder.
That's right. Unless like I'm by his car or something, I'm rubbing my junk on his door handle. You don't have to have the payback. You don't have to, but I can do it. You're my brother. I can get him for you. It doesn't matter. Anyways, but overall, minus that one thing, kudos again to Atomic for another great show. That very next night, though, the lovely Red Velvet made her way to my neck of the woods for Kickstart Your Heart Wrestling.
How crazy is that? Not only did she not wrestle that same night and whoop some ass, she got on the plane. I took her at 4 a.m, got on an airplane, flew straight to Minneapolis the next morning. And I was the one that had to take her to the airport. And if I was tired, I know she was tired.
Right.
I went to bed. Actually, I went surfing.
Yeah, you went surfing. I remember talking to you. Yeah, and you and I talked, because I talked to you earlier in the day before I went up to the show, and then we talked again after the show. We talked again right after her match, actually. I checked in with you. But yeah, man, so that was a cool thing, though. It was cool to go up. First of all, it was the first wrestling show I've been to since before this pandemic, so it was interesting. I was very eager to see the safety measures taken, and I felt safe. Kickstart Your Heart did a great job. Dual City Brewery up in St. Paul did a great job, and dude, your girl killed it, by the way. By far the best match that was on that card, and to be honest, she's probably one of the top athletes that was in that ring that whole night. And then on top of that, could not be more gracious and kind to myself and my nephew when we saw her after the match. So that was fun too. Her match was fun though, man. I'll tell you what, they got on in the crowd. They were going at it. It was good.
Well, she came home with a busted up eye and all beat up, even though she got, what was it? She didn't lose the match. It was like
a double count out.
Yeah. My girl's a fighter, man. I'm telling you, my girl can whip some ass.
For sure, man. She was cool too, man, because I didn't get to see her before the match. Or when the show started, and it was funny because they had a big rule about none of the fans are allowed to touch wrestlers. So like when you guys are coming down the entryway, they didn't want no high five and no nothing, and we were kind of standing by there, and nobody was doing any of that kind of stuff. But as soon as she came out for her match and saw me standing right there, like she came right at me with that high five, and like I was
way she broke the rules.
Yeah, and I was just staring at the security guard like, yo, man, I didn't go for it.
Leave her hanging because Wes will kill me.
I know. I was like, dude, that's my friend. I can't.
Guard.
He dates my bro, so like we're good. Like we know each other. I have to. But you know, it was cool, man. It was awesome. It was a fun show, and again, they did.
Yell your name like you're like Big Ace,
right?
Did you yell your name or no?
What's that?
Did she yell your name like right when she like high fived you?
No. She just saw me. Like we made eye contact. She was like, "Yeah," because she was like working the crowd going to the ring. But no, it was fun, man. It was a lot of fun. It was cool. And it was a crazy 3 days. Cause again, Thursday we did our show with her as our guest. You guys had your show on Friday, and then she was up here and I got to meet her on Saturday. So, that was a fun little weekend for all involved on the Brisco and Big Ace show. So
give me your thoughts and let me hear your opinions. How did it feel to get out of the house? And how did it feel? Like, I know you've been golfing and doing other things, but how did it feel to go to something like a live event, something like wrestling? What did anything change in your attitude? Did you feel anything different? What was your experience? Because as a worker, my experience was like, I can't believe it. I'm so happy to work in front of a crowd. This is the best thing ever. But I would like to hear your point of view. Like, how did you feel about it? How were you feel safe? Did you enjoy it? Were you happy to be back out? Would you please explain to me on your end, what was it like? What was your experience of you finally getting out and enjoying a pro wrestling show?
Yeah. First of all, it was great. And first of all, shout out to our boy. And he is right. You're going to knock out Shannon for more than a 10 count. That's definitely going to happen at that next show. So,
well, let's get back to my great question.
Yeah. Back to your question. So I'll tell you, first of all, being out, because again, I think the last time I did anything like this was the Chris Jericho cruise. So being at a show, already the anticipation of knowing I was going was exciting. But again, I had that thought in the back of my head of how safe this is going to be. What kind of measures are they taking? Because they advertised they were taking safety measures, but you never know till you're there. So it was great, man. Getting there, rolling up to the parking lot. I was outside in a parking lot, so that was cool. It was a perfect night, not too hot, not too cold, no rain. But again, like you said, Wes, I've been in my apartment for the bulk of what's been going on in the world lately, with the few exceptions of I went golfing twice.
Yeah, you told me about the golfing,
and then I made the overnight trip to Iowa to pay respects to our brother Zach. Other than that, I have not really left my apartment.
5 months.
Yeah. So this was the first any sorts of entertainment I was going to, and I'll tell you what. It was an amazing time. I got there and I felt very safe. Everything was roped off, masks on, all that stuff. The walking into the parking lot, dude. Dude, seeing the ring, just seeing a wrestling ring for the first time in like you said, 5 or 6 months. It just gave me that warm feel inside of like, oh, I almost forgot what this was like.
Wow.
Dude, it was great. It was so great to just see the ring, and like I wanted to touch it. Like obviously they weren't going to let me do that, but yeah. I wanted to just grab it. Some of the shows we go
it didn't feel real, right?
It didn't. It was like, man, I'm here. Like they're actually going to wrestle, and I'm going to be watching this in front of me. And it was funny because I laughed a little bit because it was outside and they wouldn't let us in right away, and it was like, we see everything happening. Just let us in. What was interesting is I ran into this old man there, right? And this old guy was like, oh, man. And he was like, so what? There's no seats or anything? And I'm like, dude, we're in a pandemic. Like, they're not going to let you have benches so we can all sit next to each other. Like, social distancing. He's like, this guy starts telling me he ain't been to a show since like the late 70s, and it was AWA. Again, we're in the Twin Cities, so AWA home territory. And I was just like, wow. So not only are you coming to a wrestling show live and you haven't in many, many years, and the products obviously changed over the years compared to those AWA days. It's not the same. And then he's doing it in a pandemic era, and it was entertaining to hear some of the things he was saying, because it was just but also too, he's totally one of those guys that like still buys into it a little bit. So like you can hear him like by himself behind us during the matches, and it was great, man. It was awesome to watch everybody enjoy it in their own way. You know what I mean? And even seeing the wrestlers there, the crew, they were pumped. Everybody was excited. The brewery was excited. I met the owner of the brewery while we were there, watching one of the matches, and he was having a blast. Like, this guy was like, "I want to do this more. We're going to bring this stuff back." And it was great. And the crowd was great. No one was like getting on top of each other. No one was super close. You had space to be distant, and everybody was. That's the one thing. It wasn't a big crowd, but everybody was vocal. Wow. And that's how because if you go to indie shows on the regular when they're happening and we're in normal times, some matches may be a little quieter than others, and fans may be doing some other stuff, and they kind of pay attention when they want. Where here you can tell like people needed the entertainment, and every match was vocal and loud, and it was fun.
Did it give you that small chance of maybe we might get back to normal?
Dude, for the 2.5, 3 hours that I was there watching the wrestling, it definitely gave me the feel of like, hopefully someday we're going to get back to this. We're going to get back to where this is happening on the regular. We're back to our normal shows. We're back in Iowa. We're back to where I can fly down and be down there with you guys and go to the shows with Atomic and everything else you got going on. Like, it definitely gave me the feel of like, so I always feel weird about this. This is almost another topic in itself, but we'll tie it in. But I almost feel weird about this, but I've been doing wrestling broadcasting, because I consider is it fair to consider myself a wrestling broadcaster? You're in the business, so
yeah, I consider you a pro in the aspect of broadcasting.
Okay, so I'm a very humble guy. You know this. I don't brag about anything I have going on or anything accolades. I'm just a humble guy, and you know me. I'm a fan first. So the fact that I'm further into this amazing industry that I've always been fascinated and had a love for is just, the cherry on top for me. I'm just enjoying it. So it sometimes is hard for me to say, hey, yeah, I'm actually involved in the industry in some sort of way. To be honest, me and you have done so many things that like I should be like, these are resume things for me, and I just don't ever.
Yeah, you're like me.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't ever say, "Oh, I'm so and so, let me in for free," or do this and this. Me and you are a different type of breed. We don't look at our success and want to have people be like, "Oh, give us stuff." No. We want to be equal.
Right. But being at that show for a little bit while I was there watching it and taking it all in, it gave me that feel of like the business, things hopefully will get normal soon, that we can get back to work and we can get back to doing what we do on the regular. And that's being around these shows and being around these talents and being able to celebrate everybody that's in this business and celebrate all the positive things. Because again, it's been a rough year for everyone in the world. 2020.
We literally last month were all supposed to be together for one of the biggest wrestling Hall of Fames ever.
Yeah. We're 2 weeks past the original weekend for this last year's Hall of Fame in Waterloo, Iowa, at the National Wrestling Hall of Fame.
So I was right last month.
Mm-hmm.
In the 2 weeks and 4 days. Whoops.
Yeah, no.
I used my one F-bomb.
You did. You get one.
And I didn't even think I was going to use it.
You get one. What's up, Ryan? Thanks for hanging out with us. Aces and Eights for life, for sure. Someone wants to know if you went to Impact, Trish.
No.
The answer is no. I don't even know what Impact's got. Well, I shouldn't say that.
No, everyone should tweet to AEW and say that they need Wes Brisco to face Cody.
Yeah, everybody watching for sure. Get on Twitter.
Supposedly they're listening. They let that small go.
Yeah, they are. Let them know. Let Cody know. Tag Cody. Tag Tony. Tag the actual AEW, and let them know that Wes Brisco needs a shot at that TNT title. If they want to take themselves seriously, why wouldn't they do that? I mean, it would only improve what they got going on. So maybe Cody's a little scared of the Brisco, but who knows?
Yeah. Well, let's go back to your experience, and let's go back to. So when you're sitting, obviously, it seems like you got totally taken away during that 2.5 hour show where you didn't think about any troubles, any worries, anything. It seemed like that you were able to kind of almost, let's say, kick off your shoes, sit in a sofa, but yet be social and entertain and still have great wrestling in front of you and still have people around you laughing, joking, drinking a beer, and kind of feeling so-called normal.
Yeah, definitely, dude. In the time that I was there, watching some great wrestling, having a couple really great locally brewed beers, man, I had no cares in the world.
That's awesome.
Not at all. And again, the crowd was really good. That nobody there made me be on edge of as far as like they were being unsafe, like or any of that.
So, warmed any of like the beer, everybody. See, that's the same with Atomic. Our crowd has been awesome, where everybody has respected each other's space and distance, and hasn't even when signing autographs. Everyone's kind of stayed away and kind of sat there, which is awesome. I'm glad everyone's practicing the safe stuff. Like, I hear everyone talking bad, don't wear masks. Everyone wear masks. Everyone be safe. Be as safe as possible. I mean, why not? Who cares? Why argue with anybody or say anything? Just go with the flow, man. Like, I know everyone's like, oh, the government's trying to change us or whatever. I mean, if it allows us to be able to go to wrestling shows and be able to have events, throw on a mask, guys. Let's keep this going. Let's keep these shows going. Let's keep this momentum, because I believe love and happiness will conquer all the bad stuff. And I believe that if we keep pumping out good stuff and good vibes, that those good vibes we're gonna, take over.
Most definitely. And it's just needed at a time like this. Shout out to my boy Mark.
Yeah, we'll be there next year. It's gonna be a big year.
Yeah, the only confirmed guest, Mark, that we can tell you is Trish Stratus has apparently been confirmed for next year, since she was kind of being there.
Been confirmed.
Huh?
My dad said all guests have been confirmed.
Oh, nice. All right. So,
and there'll be more.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen already, our good friend Troy Peterson from IPW posted some pictures of the hotel, the famous Ramada Inn, although I think it's a different name now, the famous hotel, Waterloo Hotel. And I'll tell you what, it looks fancy now.
So you guys don't have to worry about, I know you heard one of our previous podcasts about the swingers party that they had at that hotel. So you guys don't have to worry about sleeping in a dirty swingers bed this time, because the hotel has got a full remodeled.
It sure has. Trish has a question. She wonders if you would consider MLW. We've talked about you, and again, everybody, please, we're not joking when we say get on Twitter, tag Cody Rhodes, Tony Khan, AEW, and let them know that Wes Brisco deserves a shot at that TNT title on Dynamite. But we've never ever really talked about other places that you would be open to, or if you even want to talk about that, that's on you. So she's asking. It's on you if you want to answer that.
To be honest with you, I got some beef with Cody. And I kind of want to go to AEW, and I kind of want to shut Cody up, and I kind of want to show everybody what Wes Brisco can do without being scripted or having anybody tell me what to do. Allow me to give 100% freedom in that ring. Do what Wes Brisco does best. Boy, you better get your money and buy that ticket and watch that pay-per-view or click that like button.
Right.
And Cody Rhodes comes. Bet.
That, and it's just, man, that's legacy. That's history right there. Those two names have been intertwined for many years before in this business, and it's
right here.
Hell yeah. Bring that up. Can we get that closer? Let's see it. Look at that. Look at that. There he is.
And that's on my wall right next to my beautiful lady.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now.
That's right. Cody.
Family, but when it comes to that floor, ring circle, boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so everybody make sure you're getting on Twitter and doing that. Trish has another question. She's wondering how your sweet dad is. How Papa Brisco's been
doing him, and he needs to cut his sideburns.
Yeah, I seen him post a picture today on Facebook comparing last year to now. I was like, yo, Papa Brisco's chilling right now. He ain't
I haven't seen a barber in 7 months.
Oh man, that's crazy.
He's looking like Willie Nelson.
Yeah, a little bit, man, a little bit. But it's good to see. Always good to see Papa Brisco doing stuff online. So let's. She brought up MLW. Let's get into some other stuff though, because we had some other people say some Aces and Nate stuff earlier. I want to ask you something because I was reading this article before we went live today, right? It was an interview with Booker T. I don't remember who he was interviewing with, but he was talking about TNA and Dixie Carter. And you have to refresh my memory because I'm pretty foggy back in those days. She was there running things when you were there, right?
100%.
Okay. So he was talking about how it's basically the talk was about Dixie Carter and how she was very much enjoying her time as the boss of Impact, and how
more action figures than any of the guys did.
Well, it wasn't more that. It was more of
what are you getting at?
Pleasure before business.
Are you saying hanky panky?
We're saying that according to Booker T, he said she was hot to trot and that maybe living out some of her MILF fantasies back in the day.
Well, I know she was married.
I knew that too.
Kids. I met her kids. They brought them to the couple of the shows. They were beautiful kids, nice and lovely. I didn't know if she was hitting the sloth trough or not.
Yeah,
to me, there was always rumors going around that her and Magnus, her and AJ Styles. And,
I heard her and Nash. Did you hear that rumor?
Possible. I mean, I don't see. She could probably do any type of dirty work as she want, quote unquote, allegedly. We're not defacing no one's character. We're saying allegedly. We're not saying she did or did not.
No. This is all allegedly.
This is what's on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I heard she was kind of juicy for the boys, but she never approached me. Maybe I was just not juicy enough for her or her choosing, allegedly. But I did heard things, and there was things going around the locker room that there's a couple names being thrown out there that said that they've maybe wrestled her in a 4-way match or did some crazy things when the lights were out.
Yeah. Well, he was kind of alluding to the fact that because of this and kind of, I guess like she used to throw parties. Did you go to these things? Like, I guess sometimes after shows, she would just throw these parties for everybody.
She threw, okay. The only party that I went to was one. It was the biggest one. It was the night that I beat Kurt Angle.
Oh, okay.
It was in Corpus Christi, Texas.
Was that Lockdown?
Lockdown, yes. It was pay-per-view. A couple of my friends from Tampa, 2 of my friends came up from Tampa, and when it was my friend and his son came up, and of course they stayed with me. They were friends of mine since I was like high school, and they're my boys. And his son grew up watching me wrestle, so I was his number one fan. And of course he loved wrestling and he loved watching. Of course, his Uncle Wes out there wrestling, and he was always watched every show, had every action figure, was up to date with everything. And she was throwing an after party. And I usually never went to like the after parties or anything like that, just because just you never want to be seen like partying. It just with like the higher ups. It just you know what I mean? It's like I always felt like, okay, you can only have one drink and you got to be super just like, don't, mess up because all the eyes are watching you. You got all the producers, you got the owner of the company, let alone sitting in there drinking champagne right next to you.
Real quick pause before we continue. Just in that respect of what you just said, because I know you've been to these post-Mania after parties that WWE does. Is it like that then too for the talent there at their after like one drink? Like nobody's really enjoying themselves.
No, Vince will let you enjoy yourself, but there's only a level of enjoyment that you can have.
Yeah.
You don't want someone to say, "Hey, do you remember him last night doing that?"
Right.
You could have a couple drinks where you're like laughing and goofing around, but you can't have enough drinks where you're, "Hey, you remember what that guy did?"
You're peeing in the bushes in the corner of the room.
That won't happen. You'll get thrown down on your face by security and drugged up. You're not doing anything in a WWE party. I promise that it's hard enough to even get into that door, let alone if you get into that door, let alone what you're going to do. Right. I had to fight to get Wale into the after party.
Oh, jeez.
And Wale is a famous rapper. And I had to tell the WWE security, no, he's cool. Trust me. Let him in. Trust me. He's all good. Like, it's like you want him in. And he had an entourage of security. And he goes, they can't come. And Wale looked at them and was like, peace, guys. Sorry. Wale came in. And, of course, Wale knew a bunch of the boys, everyone, it was all good. But it took a lot to get Wale into that party. And that's a superstar, a big, huge rapper, let alone, you got to think they ain't just letting anybody in this party. Right. So you got to think that there's 100 eyes. Everyone's looking.
That's crazy. Yeah. And then on top of that, Wale now does stuff for them.
Best food in the world.
Really?
Oh, my God. They have a buffet. So it's set up like buffet, not buffet, like catering. So one side will be sushi. One side will be filet mignon. Oh my God. See, there's my love, my wifey, Miss.
Yeah. Big shout out to Red Velvet.
Yeah, we talked earlier. I don't know if you were listening, but earlier we had a big discussion about you and your show and how much ass kicking you've been doing. And all that good stuff, and to make sure you guys watch AEW because she's coming in hot and heavy and serving something up real nice.
That's right.
Back to what we were talking about, which I totally lost myself now.
You were talking about the food at the WWE.
Oh, okay, so there's sushi. They got a filet mignon table. They got a vegan table. They got every ice cream, buffet, chocolate, fountain, fondue dip, 4 bars that are all open bars. So they kind of tempt you. They got 4 bars in there. Well, of course, I mean, there's kind of a lot of people, but you're kind of tempting the boys when you got open bar and it's like no bottom shelf. It's all top shelf.
Right. It's the good shit.
Yeah. And it's dessert tables. Just food.
I'd be in there with those Ziploc gallon freezer bags, just putting food in it and shoving it in my coat, like take it out to the room.
You eat so much there that you don't even want to see that food again.
I bet.
And I always get a seat right next to my dad and
right.
A bunch of old school wrestlers and sit there and watch all the young talent come up and go, thank you, Jerry Brisco, for everything.
Right. We see that at Waterloo too, even like at the after everything's done in the hotel bar when it's your dad and the rest of the old school guys and just everybody comes and shakes hands and hello, sir. Thank you. Yeah, which it's so funny because 5 years ago, 6, 7 years, I don't even remember. Like the first time I went to the Hall of Fame, I was that guy doing that to your dad. Like, hello, Mr. Brisco, it's good to meet you. And then the last time we were there, he has his arm around me being like, you make sure Wes doesn't do anything crazy tonight. And I'm like, okay.
Me do something crazy.
We did. We sat in your hotel room all night chilling. We didn't even.
I don't like my crazy days are done with.
But let's be honest though, those first couple of years that we were like becoming real good friends and hanging out at the Hall of Fame, like we'd get a little crazy at night. Like there was, I think I may have some pictures of somebody wearing a sombrero on top of a table.
Well, I had to take all the young wrestlers,
and you did,
and bring them into a room and tell them the business. And of course, there was a sombrero, and yes, I was on top of a table, and yes, it was probably 3 a.m. But as a responsible adult, when we got the call saying we're being too loud in a hotel room, I said, is there a space that we can be loud at? And they said, Mr. Brisco, I would love to coordinate you to the perfect place where you and all of your guests can have fun and be as loud as you want. And I said, thank you very much. We'll be down in a second.
Right. You're right, Ryan. What happens in the loo stays in the loo.
So, well, I'm telling the story. So we all come down. It's a nice group of young lads, old lads, and middle-aged lads. And the hotel lady was like, thank you for coming down. We've had a couple of complaints. And we have this conference room. You're more than welcome for you and your guests to go in there and have fun. So, of course, that's the green light to go have fun, let alone this is 3 a.m. in the morning.
I'll tell you what, I had so much fun. I don't remember even being in the hotel room. I just remember we got put in that conference room.
Well, why do you think we got put in the conference room?
Well, I remember that we had to, but like, I don't remember actually.
The reason why we were in the conference room.
It's all foggy to me.
I bet it was.
I was pretty drunk that. Those were in my heavier drinking days too. Like I don't get down like that anymore. Dude, I barely even drink now. But we've had some really good times. That's for sure.
Ruin the story.
Go. I'm sorry.
Well, now it doesn't. It's not as reactive, and then the drama is done, pulled away.
Oh, God damn it! That's what
sucked it all out. But eventually, what basically happened is I got a sombrero, got on top of the table, and just tell the young boys that it's not about the flips, and it's not about trying to get people to clap for you. It's about telling a story. It's about actually getting people to want to chant your name. So when they go home, they go to their school and tell all their friends that so-and-so was the best wrestler, not because he did flips, but because he was a good person. He took the time to talk to me. That's what the whole moral of the story was I kind of had to tell all these guys that it's not about the flips you do in the ring. It's more about what you do outside the ring. And it's more about telling a story while you're in the ring and actually getting the crowd to chant your name instead of clapping for moves. You never want someone to clap for moves. You want someone to chant your name.
Right.
Because if they're clapping for moves, they're going to forget you. But if they chant your name, they're always going to remember your name. And chances are they're going to Google you. They're going to find you. They're going to follow you. And then you got a fan for life.
Right. Yeah, I've always said this about you. And that is that if you ever wanted to, you would be one of the top trainers in the industry if you decided you wanted to start training young talent. I was there that night. I do remember the speech you gave in that conference room. I've also been with you when you've given some speeches to other just, rooms of talent before shows. I've been there with you at Atomic before when you gave the speech before the beginning of the show. I've been there when you've just talked one-on-one or just to a few people who have come up to you, younger talent, asking for advice. And I mean, I've never seen you turn anybody away. I've never seen you say you're busy. I've never seen you do anything. You have always been there for any young talent who is looking for advice to better themselves in this industry. So that's something that's a testament to you and the character about you. Look at this. Trish says she always chants your name. That's awesome. So and it's awesome to be there and see you do that, man. It really is. I remember being at that Atomic show a year ago and watching you give that speech after I got yelled at to not have a camera in there, and then you being like, it's cool. But then you giving that inspirational speech you gave to that locker room. And that's what needs to be happening at shows. You need those people to guide these young talents so they know, because again, this is the groundwork that's getting laid for the future of the business.
Well, I mean, I tell everyone, even afterwards, they see me picking up trash.
Mm-hmm.
And they go, "What are you doing, Wes?" And I go, "I'm cleaning up the locker room so we can come back here." And they're like, "Well, why are you doing it?" I go, "Because none of you guys are picking up the trash. I lead by example. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to make sure this room gets clean, because if it doesn't, it looks bad on us."
Right.
And everyone starts getting up and cleaning. But I shouldn't have to say these things, guys. Young wrestlers, clean up after yourself. That's the number one rule in WWE. You will get so hammered and ridiculed if you leave one bottle or a piece of tape. If you tape your tape off, I don't care how tired you are, you could throw it away.
Yeah, definitely.
We're picking up people's trash. And young wrestlers, you need to learn that that doesn't fly in Japan. That doesn't fly in Europe. That doesn't fly in WWE. That doesn't fly in AEW. That doesn't fly probably in Impact, because it didn't fly when I was there. I'm sure, I don't know how ROH does it, but I'm sure that's the same way. They don't put up with that stuff. And
Yeah.
guys, I don't understand what's the big deal throwing your water bottles away and picking up. And if you do see some trash, just pick it up. I mean, maybe it's because I'm a surfer and slash kind of like hippie, where whenever I'm walking up and down the beach, I pick up trash, just because I don't like to see our beaches dirty with trash.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, there's just something about that. But guys, just pick up your trash, man. Lead by example. I mean, you guys want to be a superstar, but to be a superstar, you got to be a superstar deep down. You got to lead by example. You got to show people, like, come on, clean up after yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a respect factor. Trish Atomic has a YouTube that they do weekly where you can watch
YouTube.
So check them out. I think their next YouTube next week is actually going to have Wes and Shannon's match from the last show. So check it out.
Every Thursday.
Yeah, so make sure you do that. Yeah, and like I said, people saying, yeah, they never seen it. You're just a great guy. And again, it's just it's a respect factor. That's the thing. Old school, back in the day when we were kids watching wrestling, and you were around it because of your dad and family. It was a very much respectful game. You had to respect everything and every place you were at and the people you were around and all that, especially young talent. You had to respect the people before you. And that's where that's losing in this younger age. Because again, just not even in the wrestling business, just in our current times, this younger generation, you could be better. I'll say it. You could be better. And I think a lot of that has to do with
watch the matches.
Mm-hmm.
So someone came up to me and goes, "How do you get better, Wes?" I go, "Do you watch all the matches?" He's like, "No." And I go, "Why?" And he goes, I don't know. I even watch every match before me, just because A, I don't want to repeat the move that someone else does.
Yep.
And B, I see what the crowd's reacting to, and I see if someone's the next person getting over. I was always taught in WWE, they taught you to sit there and watch the monitor, watch the main eventers. If you ever want to be main event, watch those guys, see what they do to become main eventers.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's so much. You've seen it so many times with Cena, where they cut to him and he's back, or like documentary stuff where he's in the back and you just see him watching the monitors, watching the matches.
Everyone does.
It's what you need to do. Yeah. Ryan's wondering, are wrestlers taking many bookings right now that you are aware of? Seems like a lot of shows are starting to pop up again. They really are. It does seem like a lot of shows are popping. I'm bummed. I was going to a show tomorrow, actually, AWF in Wisconsin. It's out of the Minnesota, but it was going to be in Wisconsin, but they postponed it today. So I'm not going to a show tomorrow anymore. Kind of sad.
Well, yes, people, I'm taking a bunch of bookings. I'm only about here in Florida. And then I will be in the Minneapolis area, back Big Ace, and I believe December. I believe I will be over there.
Hell yeah!
I can't believe they're bringing me there when it's snowing. Don't they?
Oh my god! I didn't even think of that. Do you know how much fun I'm gonna have watching you freak out in like the 2 feet of snow we'll probably have then?
Yeah, because I'm not gonna have a snowboard. I'm just gonna have wrestling gear, which is not. It's feasible.
I mean, if you want to go snowboarding, though, I can get you there while you're here.
You got to hook up on the mountain?
I mean, I just know where they are, and I know people that we can go with. I'll probably just chill because I don't ski or snow. Fat guy downhill, no.
I might be down for that.
We can make that happen, bro. There's a couple ski hills like really close to the metro area, like no more than a half-hour drive from where you'd be staying. Actually, probably no more than 20 minutes from where you'd be staying.
Well, then if you can line it up, I'll like have someone to come with me, like because I don't want to like do it by myself. Like,
oh yeah, dude, I got a couple of homies up here that they would love to go, for sure.
Yeah, well, dude, we're gonna video vlog the whole thing.
Hell yeah, I'll make a nice video.
Oh, boys from Canada, what up?
What's up, Brian? Thanks for hanging out.
Brian's seen the worst snow in Canada. Canada has the worst snow.
Oh, I bet.
Canada has the coldest and worst snow I've ever seen, and it's like middle of summer. I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah, that's funny. I didn't even think of that because me and you talk about the differences in our weather so much that, that's hilarious that they're bringing you here. I mean, to be honest, December's not our worst month. If you came in January, then I'd be like, oof.
I'll probably be there in January too.
Okay, well, I'll make sure that we got some boots and some gloves for you and a hat. We'll get you.
I need booties. I need a scarf. I need thermal underwear. I need all kinds of stuff.
We can hook you up. Trish said she
looked like the Marshmallow Man.
What's that?
I'm gonna look like the Marshmallow Man with the jacket where I can't even move my arms because they got like so many layers.
Right. Is there anything going on since I'm old school that would make me enjoy other Feds arrests? She wants. What do you think? What do you suggest to Trish? I obviously AEW and watch Red Velvet.
AEW, watch Red Velvet.
That's
the thing I can say other than watch Atomic and follow up on our social media and see what shows I'm doing. Other than that, I would say just I'll watch AEW and Red Velvet and watch Atomic Wrestling and watch us and see what we're doing because I can't. That's my opinion. You can watch whatever you want to watch. I can't tell you what to watch or what not to watch, but if you want my opinion of what to watch, I'm going to say watch Red Velvet on AEW.
I agree, Trish. Watch AEW and support Red Velvet. Impact's got some really great things going on. WWE has some really great things going on. You see it more than ever right now. And Brian says that the ice rain is the worst part. And I am on page with Brian on that.
I don't know what ice rain is.
Dude, you don't want to know. Okay. So you hate like snow sucks and stuff and makes everything, like the roads are crap and snow and stuff. But I'd almost take a snowy road as opposed to when we get our freezing ice rain, because then roads and highways literally turn into an ice rink. You can't walk or drive. Like people are just sliding. You'll see it up in the city sometimes. And
with that,
you'll see like people pile up on the interstates.
I'll be at the beach.
Yeah, it's horrible. It sucks. It's the worst.
While you're doing that stuff.
When that happens and it's that bad, you just have to know you're not going anywhere that day because you cannot drive on the roads. It's just ice, just a sheet of ice like that. It's crazy. Yeah. So yeah, Ryan, if you weren't here a little bit earlier, we were talking about that. Please tweet at Cody Rhodes, Tony Khan, and AEW. Let them know and Wes. Yeah, tag Wes, of course, in all this, but let them know. Let them know Wes needs a shot at that TNT title. We're gonna get the movement going here.
What other news do we have to talk about?
Well, we're getting close to that hour mark, so we don't want to get.
Let's throw in some news real quick.
What I want to do is I want to talk to you about the interesting story that came out concerning an old school wrestler. What's your take on the Marty Jannetty thing? If you don't know, earlier this week, Marty Jannetty put a Facebook post out where he basically admitted to killing a guy in his post. He was talking about being hurt and he'll never let anybody hurt him ever again. And he used this story as an example. Apparently he was a teenager buying weed at a bowling alley from a guy. And when they went around back, the guy tried to like pull some sexual stuff on him. And supposedly Marty Jannetty took a brick and beat this guy to death and then dragged him into the river. There actually investigating this now. Where this happened, they're actually opening an investigation on this. The police. Marty Jannetty's been known to be crazy. If you don't
seen him physically get kicked out of the WWE hotel.
And that same weekend, I've seen him in the giant water fountain of a hotel lobby, drunk, walking around in the water in his clothes. The guy's got stuff he probably needs to be working on, but I just don't get who in their right mind would actually tweet something out that says, I made a man disappear and no one ever found him, and think nothing's coming of it.
Drugs.
Like, what in the hell?
He was so drugged up, which is sad that it's just not even.
It's a horrible thing, and it'll be interesting to see if they actually can do anything about it, or if they find.
I think it's all fake. It's him just trying to get attention, trying to have people listen to him, and the way he gets attention, as you can see it through the years of being an alcoholic, of causing scenes in hotels, of him causing scenes on social media, causing at shows that he's at, causing scenes at autograph signings, and so forth. That's the reason why he wants attention and he's not getting none. So he goes, hey, guess what? I'm probably all messed up on who knows what, and wants to throw a tweet out there and say some stupid things and, see what happens. I mean, it's just him begging for some bit of attention, and it's the wrong attention. It's the wrong thing to say. It's the wrong thing to even bring up. It's just, I mean, Lord forbid. I mean, I know no kids following him, but man, what a great role model. Talking about going to go buy weed out in front of a bowling alley. Like, really? Like, come on now. Like, half of that story I just don't believe. And you know what? If it is true, then you know what? You're an idiot. You're a flat out idiot. And you know what? I had respect for you when I used to watch your matches and I used to look up to you. But the first time I met you, you were so drunk and couldn't even say your name right. Ever since then, I lost respect. And then you wrestled my buddy Jesse Swanson the couple months later, and you're the same way, drunk, and you hurt him. So you know what, Marty?
Horrible.
You got what's coming to you,
dude. And it's always sad when you, and it's sad to have respect for somebody, and then when you meet him, it's a letdown. I had the same thing happen, and again, this is my personal experience. So other people may have had great experiences. So I don't want anybody being like he's a horrible person just because of mine.
No. Yeah,
but because of my experience, I don't respect that person. That was the honky tonk man. I had a very bad experience meeting him to the point he actually got kicked off the show. He didn't even work that night. Like, the promoter ended up telling him to just leave because he pulled a couple different things on me and some other people that day. And it was just like, man, I grew up watching you. Like, I idolized all of you guys in the 80s and 90s, and you're yelling at me and you don't know me. Like, dude, calm down. It's just weird, but I think a cool way to end this would be our little last bit of fantasy booking that we sometimes do, and it seems like we've been pretty right, and that is this whole Pat McAfee situation with Adam Cole on NXT. What? Right. So many people were, is it real? Is it a work? Is it not? Is it storyline? Is this leading to a match? What is happening? And I will give both men very much credit that it was hard to tell. It could have went either way. They both did
not get past Brisco and Big Ace, though.
They did not, because we both said this is going to just lead to a Pat McAfee match with Adam Cole. It has to. I don't even know if we talked about that on the show. That might have just been a phone call you and I.
We did talk about it on the show. We did talk about it on the show. I believe our what did you call it? What was the word that you use? What is it? Fantasy book. Well, we've been right on pretty much all of our predictions except for 2. And we've made a lot of predictions, and we've only failed on 2 of them. That's pretty good. Throughout, what's this, 2 years now of doing the show almost?
Yeah. We've reached our 2-year anniversary.
And we've only missed two. We've missed two predictions.
Yeah. And we don't do a lot of fantasy.
We've missed two predictions. So, guys, you want your facts and really want to know the true news, holla at your boys.
Right.
Tune in on the VOC. You can listen to the audio version, or you can go on YouTube and check us out live on YouTube and actually see us and, also hear us. But you get to see more of the visual action. Of course, you can always hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, and all the other social medias, Instagram. And please send in your questions. We always try to answer as long as they're PG and go to the subject that we are talking about.
Yeah, definitely. And we appreciate everybody tonight who's been hanging out with us. Trish, thank you. We can't always get everything up on the screen to show. I do know, Trish, you're wondering about Red Velvet. Yes, she's very nice. That's why her and Wes are together, because great people get together.
Forever and ever.
And Mark, yeah, I did check my messenger. We actually talked about that picture probably before you hopped on the show tonight. Someone sent me a picture, the Facebook picture of your dad from last year to this year onto my phone. So thank you for that. But yeah, man, what I really enjoyed though is how good Pat McAfee looked. I know you're a fan. I'm a fan, but how good he looked on NXT, carrying on this whole thing. The punt that they set him up to do on Adam Cole was freaking amazing, man. It literally, like, he punted Adam Cole's head off like it was an NFL football. It was
but the sad thing is that Pat McAfee is not going to be able to do it long term. It's going to be a couple spot shows here and there because he signed such a big deal with YouTube, and he just signed a huge deal with this
FanDuel.
Yeah, so he signed a huge deal with that. So, it's going to be just part-time, which kind of sucks because he has the attitude, which he would be a great WWE superstar because he loves it. He enjoys it. He has a great promo. He can talk really well. He's a big dude, and he enjoys pro wrestling. But, the sad thing is we're only going to be able to see bits and pieces of him, and that's the reality of the beast.
Yeah, it really is, but I'm going to enjoy it. So NXT TakeOver 30 in 2 weeks. It'll be Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee making his debut in the ring. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I
think that's a good way to end the show, and we're going to end on a good note on Pat McAfee and all that stuff. And stay tuned because I believe not this Thursday, but the Thursday after that, we're going to have a couple big guests coming up on the show. So look forward to it. We're also going to have some people from South Africa coming as a guest in the next, probably the fourth show we're going to do. We'll keep you guys posted on that. So guys, stay tuned. We got a bunch of stuff going. Big Ace, of course, check out his show every Tuesday that he does with the comic.
2 Count on YouTube every Tuesday night. We go live at 8 p.m. Central.
Check out that. He gets nerdy and does his thing, but also make sure, please share our show. I know we don't really give too much announcements and times of when we're going to plug it and when we're going to do it, but if you just hit that notifications button, it'll instantly, when we go live, you'll hear us. And just share it. Tell your friends about us. You guys don't have to. You don't want to. I don't care. Whatever. But if you want to see our show grow and you want to see us keep doing what we do, please just share it, like it, and, tell the world what's up.
Yeah, let everybody know what we got going on. Like Trish, you asked about me doing announcing. Maybe if people see our show, maybe that'll be a road that leads to me doing something like that. I would always be open to it. But yeah, again, Twitch, Periscope, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We are on all of it. So find us, follow us, subscribe, notifications, like us, leave reviews, share it with everybody. And again, the biggest thing that we could ask is get on those Twitters and social media. You let Cody Rhodes, Tony Khan, AEW know that the next person that needs a shot at the open challenge is Mr. Wes Brisco. So let them all know. Again, we got another show coming soon with some really cool guests coming soon as well that Wes and I have been talking about. So yeah, lots of exciting stuff coming your way on the Brisco and Big Ace show. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. we're getting through. That's what we do. Every week we get through and hopefully closer to the end of all the madness. So we'll see you guys on our next episode. All right, everybody. Enjoy.
Love, happiness. We're going to get through it, guys. Keep on trucking.